Hello, Monique. Good evening, and welcome to the Spiritual Talk again.
And good morning to you, and welcome to you to Spiritual Talk.
So it's good evening over here, but I hear you've had some storms over there, Monique. It's really bad at the moment.
Yes. They are terrible, and they've caused huge flooding. A lot of the highways have been destroyed, so we have to ration here down on the lower mainland with food and gas to make sure that the semi trucks can go get fuel. I believe I heard they're going down to the States and back up again in order to bring us supplies. So, and there is another one today too. It's going to start later. So hopefully our internet will stay intact and
fingers crossed, everybody.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, because we have a really special guest this evening that does a really unusual modality. Again, we're international tonight. This lady is based in the United States. I'll let you introduce her, Monique.
Yes. Laureli Shimayo. I'm looking for guests coming in. Do you see Paul guests?
I do. I've got quite a few. I've got Liz. I've got Leanne. Hi,
Leanne.
Leanne.
Wonderful.
Sean,
I see them now. That's great.
Stephanie.
Oh, yes. There we go. Wonderful. Well, I'd like to know who I'm talking to, and there they are. So I will indeed introduce Laureli. Laureli Shimayo is an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, matchmaker, and consultant. Laureli is strategic, scientific, and practical, while simultaneously also spacious, intuitive, and spiritual. She is a certified coach, consultant, and personality assessor with training and experience in science, business, psychology, and psychotherapy. She is a pragmatist, uncovering knowledge and providing resources that produce great results. Laureli is also an intuitive reader, healer, spiritual explorer, and teacher with natural capacities for feeling, sensing, knowing, and articulating subtleties in the metaphysical arts. Laureli brings awareness and presence. She makes connections and provides insights that empowers openings and transformations. And one of the things she will demonstrate today is all these sensitivities in regards to reading people's eyes. So, and more, I'm sure, and she will definitely explain that. So we're going to be having some people come into the audience and having their eyes read. So we have 3 volunteers already, and we would love to have a 4th. If anybody is interested in having themselves read and coming into the studio, please do let us know. We'd love to have you in.
Put your comments up, guys. Let's bring Laureli in. Ready? I'm going to add to the stream. Here we go. Hello, Laureli. How are you?
Hi, Paul. Hi, Monique. It's great to be here. I'm good.
Thank you for joining us on Spiritual Talk. So there's probably lots of people at home that are still trying to absorb your modality. Modalities. There's quite a few there as well. You know, and we just touched on that you read the eyes, people's eyes. Is that with all of the anatomy, or is that the whole of the body, or is that just purely the eyes in itself?
Yeah, there are some ways that I'm physically reading the eyes. I'm reading the energy that comes out of the eyes and the ways the eyes move, how they focus. And then I'm also reading the energy in general. So like the most critical thing is to see the eyes. And then I also like to see the face and, even get a sense of the body too, because the energy has a particular presence in the body as well.
Oh, I've got so many questions already, and it's not my interview. So, so how did this all start for you, Laureli? Where did you begin with this on this journey?
Yeah, well, and I'm going to just link with something that's current too. People are probably familiar with the idea eyes are the window to the soul. And so the eyes, we see so much in each other's eyes all the time. I really believe that we all read eyes. And this goes back to really, I think, of how this started for me. I remember when I was in high school, I was already going the pathway of science. And I remember just looking at people and feeling people. And it just seemed like, because I was looking at biology, like beyond nature and nurture, there was like something else. Like it just didn't make sense to me that all of who we are is created from our genes or our biology, and also our nurture, our experiences growing up. And so I had the sense back then, like there's something else. And I went the direction of science for a while first, and eventually found my way back where I'd always been really interested in people. And so in my 30s, I was considering going back to grad school to study psychology after doing molecular biology and all kinds of research and things like that. And instead of doing grad school, I ended up finding a teacher that does a version of the eye readings work that I do. And I studied with a number of somatic psychotherapists. And to me, all of this is related because our bodies are so expressive. There's so much about what we experience that comes through our bodies. Just in terms of a body psychology, like we might think that like I have an itch, I'm just scratching an itch, it's no big deal. And actually it's where our body is giving us a signal, pay attention to something. And often it's a set of feelings. And similarly, the spirit that we are, the presence that we are, comes through our eyes in a particular way. So to me, I think of like nature and nurture, and then soul or spirit, or there's something else.
Wow.
So the way the energy comes through our eyes, and I believe that our soul is present before we're in our physical body. It has a different sort of expression. Like we have different desires and interests in the world. So, well, let's see. Let me come back to me. Well, so I was in my 30s. I started studying with a teacher, and instead of doing grad school the classical way, I just learned everything I possibly could and started teaching with a teacher and developing new materials with this person also, and started studying with a somatic psychotherapist and really just started blending in all kinds of things. I hadn't realized, but I had a lot of my own trauma growing up, and that was part of my interest in people. I think part of how I survived was paying a lot of attention, to the people around me and noticing subtle patterns. And that's how I protected myself and survived, to get to adulthood. And then I naturally, it turns out, also have natural strengths at noticing patterns. So my interest in people, finally letting that emerge outside of all the science. And I'm also naturally really good at details. So bringing that training and natural capacity at details and my ability with patterns. So bringing these together. Just really noticing like, what are the differences between people and what does it mean? And it turns out that I, like everyone else, had been choosing people throughout my life based on their eyes. And I didn't realize. So for example, when I looked at all the people that I had dated in the past, I dated men for a long time and then I was dating women, and all these people had something in common. They were all like my father. And it's where I had a lot of struggles with my mother as a child. And so my father was the one I held up as an ideal. And I was really wanting to still get love from my father. And so all these people, like very similar to my father, and my father's different than me. So like I could only meet him so well. And so it was just a lot of struggles in my relationships. And even the bosses that I chose at work, I chose to work for people that either, and I just say I was raised by mother, father, and a grandmother. And so I'm just thinking about the job I had before I started opening to all this work. I was working for someone that was a lot like my grandmother, who was a really harsh, hard person. And it was harsh, hard working there. And then the next job, I chose someone in hindsight that was just like my father. So working out all these lessons based, we think it could be random. But like when you look at all the people I dated, like a whole string of people, all like my father, it's not random. Like we all make these choices. So yeah, working for someone like my father, and fortunately though, it's someone that allowed a lot of freedom. And so as I started studying this on the side, I was able to utilize all this work in business. It was an entrepreneurial startup, and so lots of space for me to hire tons of people. And I used my eye readings to help hire people to see who would be a great fit for the culture, who would be good at different roles at the position at that company. As they grew and the senior team had lots of different dynamics going on, I could use that to help them understand the team and how to work with people differently, maybe how to move people around into different parts of the organization, or who needed support in various ways with someone with different gifts. And then since I've always been such a fan of relationships and dating, I had been married, my relationship didn't go well. It took me years to figure that out. And then someone like my father again, someone like traits of my grandmother mixed into. As I was single and dating, I applied this to my dating life, realized all my old patterns, and was gradually shifting who I was dating. So on the side, outside of work, right? So I'm learning all this stuff and teaching and applying it in business, and then applying it in my own dating life. I realized that I could choose much better partners for myself, particularly with online dating, where we have so many photos to look at, right? So I've got all these eyes, and I could, for myself and then for others, help find people that were great matches. And so for me, coming back to me, I eventually realized I wanted to blend all these things together in a way that really wasn't the right fit for my teacher. So I went a different path and working for myself for a while, worked with a leadership coach for a while. So we applied this work in business. I guess I have it next to me. I have a book on part of what I read in people's eyes. And so we did this work together in business for a bit. And actually, I just met with someone else from their firm just yesterday. So it's like branches, right? So business and teams and understanding teams and culture and having people be in the right spot. And then also hiring people to bring the right people in. And then growing ourselves. I haven't really talked about that yet too.
I just wanted to ask you about that book. Did you write that book?
I wrote part of that book. Yeah, there are several of us that wrote it together.
Co-authored, yes, and it's called The Sweet Spot.
The Sweet Spot: Leveraging Your Talents in Leadership and Life. Yep.
Wonderful. And where could people buy that? Is that on Amazon?
Yeah. It's on Amazon, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for telling us about that.
But yes, so go ahead. Part of why I went into science initially is because my grandmother was such a big influence for me. And she was really interested in genetics and evolution. And I'm the first kid. I'm smart. I have some natural capacity in that area. So I went into genetics and evolution, which was really her love, before I followed my own love, which was people. And so this is like a general concept in my work too, and that we as people often pick up masks, like false masks. Right? So I'm who I am. Like I have a spirit that's attempting to come through me and express through me. And I think that's why I'm here in a physical body. But my job as a little kid is to make it to be an adult, to have a chance to express my purpose. And so as kids, we pick up masks and do whatever we need to get love and attention from parents or grandparents or whoever our caregivers are. So I went the path of my grandmother first. And then it was in my 30s finding this work. I found I could branch and like, oh, I'm really interested in people. That's what I want to do. And apply in all these ways. And science is just a little too theoretical for me. And I love how it linked back to when I was right in high school, right? And I'm really starting to emerge. And I had the sense that there was more to people. And so I found my way there indirectly. But so part of what this work is so great for too is to help people more deeply understand themselves, shed what's not natural, let themselves express what's natural and authentic, and then integrate all these various parts of themselves together. As we talk more about the work, you'll see that sometimes we have parts of us that like focus or pull in lots of different directions. And part of our journey is how to integrate this together into being a cohesive person.
Yes.
And so worked in leadership for a while and then been working for myself for, gosh, how long has it been now? I've been off on my own. It's probably been a good 7 or 8 years. And all this time, I haven't talked about anything intuitive here. I didn't realize I was doing anything intuitive or metaphysical. I approached it as a scientist. I was looking at very specific physical traits about people and their eyes. And that is one way that I can teach other people to read. But really, in order to get better and better at reading people, I had to trust myself more. I didn't realize it was trusting my intuition, but really it was just not overthinking it and letting myself go with my first impulses or instincts or really following my intuition. And I love how like we all need a community to be the best of who we are. I believe that. I had a colleague finally that kind of, like elbow. And she said I was doing something called claircognizance and that I needed to go sort that out. And I'm like, what is this? And so it turned out, right, there's all these ways that I was picking up things from people that I didn't realize how I was doing that. And that led me into exploring the metaphysical world, the psychic world. And I fit in, and they liked me. And now I run all sorts of events for the metaphysical community. I run metaphysical and wellness fairs in person and online. And I just started running them in person again. Just last weekend, I had my first fair. And I have another one coming up in a week and a half. And I still have all kinds of events online. Or those have grown enormously over the last 2 years.
Is this called the ThriveWise? I see that you have an organization called ThriveWise.
Yeah, and I'm someone that I just linking back to genetics for a moment. We're diverse, right, as humans, right, our biology. And I happen to be born with the genes for being a short sleeper. So I'm someone that doesn't need as much sleep as other people. And so I do tons and tons of different things. I know So there's ThriveWise, which is my original coaching consulting business. And then Thrive Types are the names of the archetypes that I read in people's eyes. When I read the energy in people's eyes, I use archetypes to describe what I see. And so that's Thrive Types. And then as I realized I was doing something intuitive and metaphysical, I'm like, well, I need a name for that. So I say that I do intuitive eye readings, and I'm reading someone's Thrive Types in their eyes. And then my fairs and events are MeWe, metaphysics and wellness events.
Yes. Yes, they're prominent online. I see them all the time. And there's a huge list of people that are co-joining there as well, working with you, isn't there?
Yeah, so we have if it's online, it's usually maybe 8 or 15 practitioners and vendors that we're working together, and practitioners really online. And then in person, I've had as many as 75 practitioners and vendors sharing our work together. Wow. So we just had 40 of us together for a 2-day fair in Portland, Oregon, just last weekend.
And all of this information, all these sites can be found on your webpage, correct?
It is. And the one that we have listed is LaureliShimayo.com. That has links to all these other websites.
Yes, I noticed that. Thank you. Yeah, you had sent me I thought, my gosh, this lady's busy. And I thought we'll put all this information on the banner, but I could see it all on your website. So if anybody's curious to find her in all these practitioners, and feel free to look at her website listed here on the banner below.
Yeah.
So right. So back then, right in high school, and I think that if we go back to what inspired us initially, what we most love, it often helps us find our purpose. So there I was back there in high school, really sensing people and looking at their eyes and sensing more was there. And it led me all these places.
I know you talk about relationships. I mean, that must have been quite an inspiration for you, realizing the power of what you do. And how, I know it sounds like a science to me, but it also sounds more than just a science. There's a healing side to it as well. Is that how the healing aspect comes in, from that understanding self?
Yeah, so I come from a direction of more like science and understanding, and each person is different. And so what's going to be most supportive of them is different. And I think that I'm able to very quickly give people a reflection of who they are. Yeah. In a way that simply hearing that differently than a way they've even understood themselves is very healing. People feel very met and seen, and they relax more into who they are simply by hearing, oh yeah, this is me, this is true of me, and all these things, they're connected. Yeah, this is me. And then there are lots of lessons on how to grow and deepen and share the best of who we are. So yeah, it's who are we? What's our purpose? How can I share the best of who I am? And then how can I make choices of what I do and who I do things with that really honors me, allows me to express my purpose, and then honors others, and has us explore easier, more productive collaboration.
Awesome.
Lovely.
So before we go any further, lots of people, I don't know if you guys have been watching the comments, lots of people have been saying comments about eyes are the window to the soul, and you can see so much in. Before we go to the audience and ask questions, Laureli, can we ask that we bring one person in just to give a taster before we go later on to more people coming in? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
So we have a lovely lady, also the other side of the Atlantic in Canada, who happens to be Monique's lovely neighbor. And I hope she doesn't mind me introducing you as Monique's neighbor. We have Zuri. Here we go. Hi, Zuri. Hi, Zuri.
Hi, Zuri.
Hi, Laureli.
So, Zuri, you're our first guinea pig. And Laureli's gonna. I'm gonna leave her to you, Laureli, and I'm just gonna sit back and watch and really enjoy this.
Sure, that's great. And I should say you're a little bit backlit, so it's a little bit harder for me to see your eyes. And it's a little fuzzy, so I'm picking up more of your energy than the specifics of your eyes. Yeah. Well, let's see. So from here, again, a little hard to see. I'm going to guess that you probably feel emotions deeply. So big waves of emotions. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. And so you probably naturally see not only what's here now, you also see what's possible. And you like to inspire and motivate people to stretch and reach for what's possible. Use emotions to pull people forward. Right, so yes. Fairness and integrity are really important to you. And I'm also, again, it's subtle, but that maybe you're a little harder on yourself than you are other people. So in addition to wanting to be good and wanting to have a good impact on the world, you also see I need to grow, I need to do better, I need to do more. That all makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it
so
does.
all this comes from one characteristic. So I look at 7 talents. That's what that book is about, 7 talents. And I describe each person as having 3, and I'm talking about one of yours, and that's the second one in order. It's called Priest or Priestess. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation. they see not only what's here, they see what's possible, right? Want to inspire and motivate people to stretch and reach for what's possible. And when it's the first talent someone has, it goes out in the world, directed out in the world, and the energy of their eyes comes out of their eyes more strongly. It goes out and they see, oh, all these things could be better, should be better. I'm going to make a big impact out there. And when it's second, they still want to make, be good and have a good impact out in the world and make things better, but they turn a lot of it inwards. And that's why the focus inwards. And you have a softness, I feel like, just some of the depth of the energy of your eyes, but there's also a softness. And that's what had me wonder that it's second. So when it's second, it goes inwards and they want to make a good impact outside too. And then when it's third, just for contrast, it goes outside again, but it's narrower. Like this is the right way. This is what it should be. Yeah. And so you have the sense that you have it and that you have it in the soft way. And that's why I went for second. Yeah. And let's see if you could, and this is where, I just can't see can you come a little closer to the camera and let me see if I can. And I should say this is different than iridology. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I can see a little bit better. I need to get a sense of the irises and the energy coming through the irises. Okay. Yeah, and just turn your eyes just to the left ever so slightly. Oh, yeah, so they're down. Yeah, that's great. You can kind of look this direction a little. So I wonder that maybe, which way do I want to go? It's possible that you're also sensitive to energy in general. Would you say, like, you can get overwhelmed in some environments, like if the lighting is not good or the colors are not good? That also true?
Yes.
Yeah, so then, and you might have lots of different ideas, like you can get distracted by all the different ideas sometimes. That's true too?
Yes.
Yeah, so then you probably also have a talent that's called artisan. It's about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. Right, so it's about exploring the edges of what exists and bringing new ideas, experiences in, so everyone has access to them.
Yeah.
Right, and so the two of these together, the priest, priestess, and the artisan, often have someone being very intuitive.
Yes.
And then, you have a lot. You're very empathic, very intuitive, right? So just very sensitive to all of what's going on around you with people. And then there's also like a little bit of tension that you might feel inside because priest, priestess is about focusing and bringing everything together to make things better. And then the artisan is like off and all over. And so maybe not, you're a little more on the spacious side. So it's maybe not as much tension as some people, but so sometimes and priest, priestess second, when it's second, there's often a drive to be perfect, some perfectionism. And so that would be a little more of the struggle of, it's not ready. I want to go all these places. No, I should focus. And and then so one of the big lessons of having priest, priestess second is that you're probably incredibly supportive and encouraging and optimistic when you talk with other people. And then it's to learn to speak that optimistically and encouraging to yourself so that you're not telling yourself, oh, I shouldn't have. But you say, oh, I know I did my best and I'm doing great. And that all makes sense?
It's totally, yes, it does. Yes, it makes sense. Yes.
Great,
Thank you. Yes.
Hey, you're so welcome.
Thank you.
Lovely.
That was lovely. That was beautiful.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say this. Laureli, that's my friend. Are you sure you don't know her? Because you couldn't have gotten any closer, honestly. That's exactly the way she is. Unbelievable. Right? Don't you agree, Zuri?
Definitely. Yes.
On. And this was not, this was not pre-planned at all. Wonderful. We're going to have a few more of these in the show. So I look forward to that.
Yeah. Should we do one more and then do two more later? Is that okay? And then we'll give people a good idea of the modalities you're using and give people a chance to come in with some good questions. So thank you, Laureli. That was brilliant. And
thank you, Zuri, for letting me see your eyes.
Yeah. Thank you, Zuri. Thanks for coming in. We've got one other lady that's coming on the link that's ready to go. So here we go. I'm just going to add, this is Steph. Hello, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
We've got a good camera as well, so I'll be able to see your eyes.
It's much more clear.
So come on a little bit closer. That's quite scary. Yeah.
Sorry, no makeup. Sorry.
Oh,
It's great.
sorry.
That's better for me. That's really good.
Okay.
I'm gonna go like aye. Ooh.
It's
Sorry.
great. Well, we just had someone else on. I don't know if you were hearing, but you have one thing that's in common with that other person. But I think you have it even more strongly than the other person. I'm thinking that freedom is really important to you. Does that make sense, Steph?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, gosh. So, and you probably have lots of different ideas, right? So you're like thinking of this and this and this and this and like all these different things. And then when someone tells you what to do, part of the response inside all the time is like, no, no, no. Right? Make sure that you're free. And so choice is really important to you. You want to have lots of different choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then color. Well, sensual pleasure of all kinds, right? So sight, sound, touch, taste, right? Like color, all kinds of physical experiences. They matter a lot to you.
Mm-hmm.
And what I say, well, so you're slightly rebellious. That has to do with the like, no, no, no kind of thing. Right. And yeah, and I just so, and also sometimes it looks like to other people like you're not taking steps forward, like you're not getting anything done, like there's nothing going on, and then all of a sudden poof, like a whole bunch happens all at once, right? Yeah, so some people might call it procrastination, but for you with your talent that's called artisan, I call it percolation. It's like things are just like getting ready and preparing, and like it's not until they're ready, poof, then everything happens all at once. It's like a burst of activity and energy. Yeah. And let's see. So, and you probably have lots of different interests, and your interests change.
Yes.
And, yeah. So you get bored, right? You get bored. So all of this is about artisan. Like all these things are about artisan. And you're fairly young still, right?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
So just, I mean, you might go into a career that's more artistic or more like inventive in some way, and like, but chances are like you might have different steps on your career path. Just because you'll get interested and go this way and then this way and this way. And you might do something that's totally unique and different that no one expects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. And then you, which way I go? Well, I'm trying to think. Well, you're clearly a little bit playful, and it could come from a couple different things. You could have both of these things. I'm trying to, so would you say that you have like a good sense of rhythm? Like you can sense, well, you might like music.
Yeah.
Both of these traits might have you like music. But then also, like you pick up patterns and things pretty easily. Like maybe part of how you learn in school is by patterns.
I don't know. I can't remember.
And so like you notice like this, like when you're around a group of friends, right? You just notice kind of the flow of energy of a group of friends. And if it's like they're not having a good time, you're gonna like just bring up a bunch of ideas and like kind of poke at the group and do something to get it to be more fun, more engaging. Like you want the group to be kind of in flow and things happening all the time. Yeah. And then communication might be important to you. Like, so you like talking about all the different ideas that you have, and it's really fun for you to be in interaction with other people about the ideas. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I think you have a talent that's called artisan, which is about the ideas. It's about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. And then I think you also have a talent that's called sage. It's about community, communication, playfulness, and fun. Yeah. And then you might also, I say, so school really not your thing?
Oh no, it's fine. I just can't remember. It's been like 12 odd years, maybe a bit longer.
Okay, yeah. So school was really easy for you?
Yeah, I really liked school.
Okay, so then you probably had a parent that was a caretaker, someone that was like really like very close emotional relationship, and like you had to take care of someone else growing up, something like that. Does that make sense?
Kinda, I suppose. A little bit.
I say. Yeah, so then if you like school and school is easy, then you must have, I was juggling between two different things. Then you must also have the talent that's called scholar. It's about absorbing information to build knowledge and share knowledge. So you're interested in learning things if it's fun and interesting. And if it's not fun and interesting, you're like, whatever, I don't want to know. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, so have you done a lot of, so since it's been 12 years since you've been in school, have you done a lot of different kinds of work?
Yeah, so, sort of like community sort of work, so like retail, like pubs and stuff, and then sort of a charity, worked for a charity as well, with a football club, which Paul really likes.
Yeah, so it makes sense. You've done a lot of different things, and like a pub. A pub is like some freedom, creativity, right? And so drinks and things like that, and food is pleasurable, and then also pub is like social and fun and connecting with people. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So can I ask a question? How would you know if Steph had the right partner? Is that something that a client would ask you?
Well, does
Can I just
Steph
say
have a
before
partner?
we
I gotta
go?
know like what land I'm working into now.
No, not that.
No, do
Especially
it, do it.
Steph does have a partner in it. I think he's actually watching. So
Okay,
just for the pre-warning,
Okay.
yeah.
He's got headphones on every so often.
Oh.
He keeps taking them off, trying to listen.
I have a model that I use for who I think makes a good partner. So I have, I think there are 4 lessons that we're typically navigating in attractions, and the
I'm just
first
going
one
to
is
write
that
this
we're.
down. Hold on, right? I think Sarah might be watching as well. So
Let's say the first lesson is we often choose partner. We often are attracted to people that are somehow like our family of origin.
okay.
So just like I dated people like my father for so long, like I didn't consciously want to do that, but that's what happened. So we choose someone like a parent, and it's because 2 reasons, I think. One is that we get scared and nervous when we go to date. And so we go to what worked for us, long ago, and how we got love and attention. So we show up in a way that was attractive to our parents to get love and attention from our parents. The second thing is that if we choose someone that's like a parent, but a bit more conscious than a parent, then it can be soothing of the ways that our parent didn't fully love us as a kid. So we're often attracted to people like a parent. And then the next lesson is that we often look for opposites. Like we're often taught that opposites attract. And what I think is that if we don't love who we are enough, like often we're taught like we should be different or more or whatever. If we believe that and think that, when we look at someone else's eyes and they're the same as ours, we judge them harshly the same way we judge ourselves inside. So most of us over and over again are dating people that are like a parent, different than us. And those are the 2 people like across the crowded room that are so attracted to each other. They're usually each other's parents and they're different. So usually we're dating people like that. I personally think that it's great to date someone who's similar to you, someone with similar eyes. To me, they have similar souls, so I think of them as soulmates. So I think it's great to be with a partner that's similar. I mean, they like the same things. They do things in the same way. It's really easy to be with them. And the more we love ourselves, the more we love them. And the more we love them, the more we love ourselves. So it's a great way to grow and be who we are and encourage us to share our purpose. But most of us aren't attracted to people like that, who said, because we're judging ourselves harshly. So as we grow and we learn to appreciate ourselves more, then we often are choosing partners that are similar. So yeah, I have a prediction of who would make a good partner for you, and who knows who you're with. Yeah. Right? Does the person allow you to have lots of freedom? Does the person like lots of freedom too? Is the person also playful and fun? Those are great things if they're so.
Yeah. Yeah. I can speak for myself. When I spoke to Sarah recently, we have very similar eyes, which is a bit uncanny. So if she's listening, I think I've just earned some brownie points there.
It's great. And I don't generally look at like the physical properties of the iris. There's a modality called iridology that looks at the very distinct patterns inside the iris. And I'm looking at the energy that comes through the iris. But so I need to get like close enough to see the eyes, but not too close. And yeah, so even if they physically look the same, it doesn't necessarily matter. It's the energy that comes through that I really care about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like I've had lots of partners that get upset because I don't know what color their eyes are, because that's not what I look at.
Okay.
And I should say, and I've been with a partner for 5 years, and we met online dating, so using all my tools for myself.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How did they feel about that? Did they know they went through this process, your partner?
Well, so I've learned from experiences, and this is a joke. We totally tease about this, and she's going to like really be funny about this too, that I'm saying this now, of course. I brought my binder. I don't have it with me right now, but I have like a binder that I bring when I do readings for people in person, and it has my handouts and all this stuff. And so I brought the binder on the first date because I've learned if the person does not like it from the beginning, like there's no chance. I can't date them. So yeah, so I learned the previous relationship didn't do that. Yeah. So she knew. Yeah.
Interesting.
And she teased from the beginning. Yeah, like I'm just dating her for material, but no, I love her.
Oh, this is so much fun. Thank you. Thank you, Steph, for coming on. That was brilliant.
No worries.
How did that resonate with you?
Pardon?
How did that resonate with you? But I got to tell you, Mum's been having some fun on the comments as well.
Oh, is she? Oh, dear.
She has, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So-
so that's what I'm wondering. So the thing that I was wondering about, the other trait I was wondering about is, and now you get me wondered, right, all these people. It's a talent called server. It's about love and intimacy and deep connection. It's about one-on-one, like really wanting to see and honor each person and all life. And that's why I was trying to sort out. I'm like, did you have that trait? Did you have scholar? Like, which way do I? Because I was like, felt like it was somewhere in those 4 talents. And then my journey is to sort out like which of the 3 are really yours. So when I do a deeper reading of someone, I have them bring me photos of parents and caregivers so that I can see that stuff ahead of time.
Interesting.
Yeah, no,
So, yeah, I'll just make sure the banner's on so people want to connect. There's the contact details for Laureli. So thanks, Steph, for coming on.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Bye.
Bye.
We should, I know we've got some people in the background waiting to go again, but we should bring some questions from the audience now, shouldn't we, guys? So I'm just going to put this banner up here asking for questions. So please, guys, fire your questions away.
And I was saying, like, can I share my screen real fast while they're doing that?
Oh, yes. Great idea.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Yes.
Let me. Okay. So here's my screen.
I'm just going to add it to
This
the
is a little
screen.
bit more thorough explanation as to what Laureli is actually doing here.
Yeah, so these are the archetypes that I'm reading in someone's eyes. These are the 7 talents. And we described the first person as having artisan and priestess. And then the second person is having artisan and sage and scholar. So yeah, these are the 7. And I describe each person as having 3. And they have lessons that we grow from the outside in. So it's relaxing into who we are. And when we feel scared or stressed, we temporarily come back to the outside. So it's not only which talents a person has, it's also where are they in the journey of expressing their lessons. And in general, like this one's about love and intimacy and deep connection. This one's about inspiration and motivation. So feelings and emotions. This one's about the playfulness between people and communication between people. This is about freedom and the space between ideas, bringing in new experiences and ideas for everyone. These 2 are action. This one directs others to take action. This one takes action themselves. And this is the integrator that absorbs information and builds maps of data to build more knowledge. So just a simple explanation. This is what they value, and this is what bothers them or triggers them and prompts them into action. And then they all have lessons that are paradoxical. So like scholars try to learn everything at first and they can't learn anything at all. They get too serious about their learning. They get messy about their learning and know it more richly and deeply. And then they become intuitive knowers. And that's sort of the pathway I've been on. And then, so in addition to these talents, there's also a person's pacing or rhythm, the speed at which we integrate and share and move in the world, how we make decisions, how we most easily communicate. It's the order of mind, heart, and body, and how we integrate and share. What motivates us? There are 7. Each person has 1. These are part of our soul. We have them from before we're born. I think, I'm not sure, I haven't done enough tests, but even in utero, the different images of babies in utero, like I think that I can actually pick up the energy there. And that's not the eye, so it's clearly the energy, right? That there's some facial features and some things that are more common often. And but yeah, I have to do more tests to see, can I really tell? And then defense is how we protect ourselves. This isn't part of our soul. It forms during the first 2 years of life. There are 2 opposites and one that switches. And you can see on the bottom here is fluid, and on the bottom of all these, it's fluid. And so there's a pathway, like I think of it like wholeness, and we enter into wholeness like through a pathway, and like it's our traits. And our opportunity is to really come to love and embrace what's natural, and then we can sort of expand as we really deepen and express whatever's natural, whatever it is, and we can become fluid, where we have access to all of the traits. And even the talents, as we grow from the outside in, as we come towards the center, we actually pick up some traits of the others. There's still a flavor of the direction we come in. Yeah, so it's a journey of really loving who we are. And then worldview is consciousness. So a meta lesson, we start here as babies and grow. And to be growing down in this trait, we have to be growing to fluid here and growing to the center of the lessons of our talents and all those things. So that gives everyone just kind of an idea of what this is. So when I look at someone, I'm looking at all these pieces. And usually I start off sharing about someone's talents because they're most directly connected to our purpose. And they give people the easiest, well, it's an easy way to share something and have people have a deep sense of being seen. Sometimes there'll be something else that stands out, like there's a lot of action over here, and I might share that as the first thing. But usually it's someone's talent. And yeah, and then just when I match people for business or for romance, I'm almost always looking for worldview to be enough of a match. If people are in different stages of worldview lessons, it's usually pretty messy.
Okay.
Because like someone really wants connection and the other person is focused on their purpose, or one person wants connection and the other person is focused on impressing others. Like it's just a big mess. And then I usually look for defense to be similar enough, because defense and how we protect ourselves can cause a big mess anytime there's something going on that's challenging. And then I look for talents to be a match. For work, it's for a role. And then for dating, as I mentioned, I like to look for people that are similar to each other. So that gives you like an idea in general of what I'm doing and what I'm looking for.
Right. Fascinating. Right. It's very complex, isn't it? And I have a question. How much of this is, Laureli, is intuitive, and how much of it is scientific when you're working?
I sort of at this point, like I've just stared at so many people for so long, I almost don't know. But I can definitely teach people the basics of the 7 talents with the science. So, for example, server and priest priestess are about feelings and emotions, and they're focused on people, and their energy comes out of them. And then with servers, the eyes tip inwards, like to one person's heart. And priest priestess, the eyes actually tip outwards, because I think of it as they see not only what's here, they see like this big rainbow possibility of what's possible. Or sage is about playfulness and fun between people. So they want the energy to be like this between people, and their eyes do more of like this. I mean, so there are very specific physical patterns that can be just noticed. Part of what's tricky, though, is like if people have masking. Like, so for example, no makeup is better for me because at least in the US, the feminine ideal is priest priestess, and they have more intense eyes. And so women often wear more intense eye makeup to make themselves look more like priest priestess. And then when I'm looking at someone, like, is it really their eyes? Is it the energy of their eyes? Is it the makeup? Like so yeah, it's better to see yeah. Men are taught often to be fun or funny in the US. And so they grow more facial hair to make this part of their face stand out, which sages, this part of their face stands out more. So their eyes dance, but there's more energy here too. So there are all kinds of ways we can attempt to be different than we are.
Interesting.
We've got a few questions coming in from people. One here from Rhonda. Hi, Rhonda. Is it possible to read a blind person's eyes?
Yeah, that's great. I have read several people that are blind. I've read people that are partially blind and fully blind, and they don't put their energy out through their eyes as much. It really, part of it depends on when in their life they've become blind. If they've been blind all their life or later, if they've become blind later, they still have the intention often of wanting to put the energy through, and I can feel a difference in the energy. I'm trying to just think back to the different people that I've talked to. It's more subtle, and I do pick up things, and so I spend more time with them and ask more questions because I want to get more clear that I'm going the right direction. So I can, and it's harder.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Another question from, I don't know if you can see this, Monique, from Carol. Hi, Carol.
My son's eyes change color according to his mood, either more green, olive, or if he's happy, and more green brown if he's moody. Is this common thing?
Well, I know that with iridology, people's eyes change based on health. And so I'm not surprised that there are some ways that people's eyes can change with mood. I personally don't look at the color of people's eyes generally. So in terms of me, I don't know. What I would guess is that maybe this person does have some of the artisan talent. Just I would guess, because color in general is important to artisan, and they can be moody and cranky. So I would go for somewhere in probably the artisan, or could be the server, priest, priestess, just based on that description. But yeah, so I'm not looking at color, so I wouldn't even notice maybe that they changed.
Interesting. It brings a question that I have to ask. My brother has one blue and one brown eye, but that wouldn't make any difference, would it?
Not for me. I don't. Looking at someone like that, I might be a little bit like, ooh, and like can kind of settle in to feel their energy. But yeah, it shouldn't matter. Okay. I actually really, right now, we're talking about, like, I was thinking about my partner. I really, really don't know her eyes, what her eye color is. I just don't know. So yeah, I know they're not this, and I know they're not that, but they're still, I just don't know. Yep.
You know a lot of other things, but
I know tons about the energy of her eyes, but I don't know the physical color. Yeah, so it shouldn't matter.
Steph, who's just been on, she's asked a question. Can you tell how baby trait would be, for example, of a 5-month-old?
Yeah. So like when I've been talking about 3 talents and how people have 3 talents, part of what's a little tricky is that we grow into the 3rd talent, and then the 2nd talent, and then the 1st talent. So we start off expressing a lot of the 3rd, and if we keep growing, we express a lot of the 1st. So in babies, I can see the talents, what are likely. it's I don't always get the order right. That's would be a little bit more mixed up when someone's really young. And then it's going to depend too on their parents and the influence of their parents and how strong that is, how strong the masks are. And then also the artisan talent is the one that's more of a chameleon that can shift and change and like avoid and or create change, you know, facilitate change for others. And so if it's a child that has a lot of artisan, they might also be picking up a lot more from their environment. And then again, it's a little trickier, but there are other tricks too. So like, because artisans, they're focused in all these different directions at once is one of the ways they often show up. The diffusiveness of the energy is something I can pick up when they're young too.
That's so much information that you have there. Your world of information. How many years have you been working at this?
Yeah, so it's been over 15 years since I started learning this, and it's been my primary focus all this time. You know, even while I was doing intellectual property work at first, when I was, you know, like, so doing all these different things, you know, focused on business, but primarily this is my passion, and so my main energy goes into this. I mean, I ran metaphysics and wellness fairs for community and connect everyone together, but so I can do eye readings. So yeah.
Awesome. There's another question here from, it just says Signal from YouTube, because we go across different platforms. So we have different people watching live from different places. This is Signal. Hi, Signal. What do you know about some people with reptilian eyes? Is that a thing?
See, and I don't know of like even what reptilian eyes would look like. I can say that it's so interesting how all these different traits show up. So some people have eyes that they're a little bit more wide set maybe, and there's an intensity in their eyes. Mm-hmm. It's not the emotional flavor of the priestess. It's not very common, and those people have the queen king talent. So that talent is all about power. Their energy is more intimidating to other people. People can sense their innate capacity with power. So I'd have to look at what are called reptilian eyes, but maybe it's something like that.
So where does that come from? Sorry, Monique. Monique. That's okay. Just a really interesting subject you've just come across. So there's certain people that have this ability to have this power. Is that some kind of gene line or something?
Well, see, this is where like I think of it as like nature, nurture, and spirit. And I want an N word for this one, but I don't have it yet. And so to me, I like a way of thinking, right? Our soul exists before we're here in our physical body. You know, our soul is choosing like what physical body to be in and what kind of family to be in and what pathway we're on. And for example, the sage talent, there's often more energy in this part of the face. And some people, though, physically have just like there's more emphasis on this part of the face. So when I'm looking at someone, I'm looking to see about this part of the face. However, they could have inherited something that's about this part of the face. So that's why I really need to go back to the eyes. And do they have the pattern in their eyes? So I use other parts of the face and the energy, and I have to keep going back to the eyes to see what's really there in the eyes.
And do you have to keep in mind the culture of the person, Asian, Black?
I do to some extent because, like, for example, I'm just go back to the U.S. and I'll use some things in Europe too. So in the United States, the center of our country, called the Midwest, is people typically have what I call server masking. They're taught to be nice and polite. And, you know, Canada is a bit like that too. Whereas in Southern California and New York, like it's entertainment. And so sage, fun. Or you go to like a university town and scholar. We all study. Everyone here has to study and everyone must do better in school. And so everyone has scholar masking. Or if you look at like German culture, there's warrior masking, like follow the rules, follow the process, you know, like, so it's different cultures. So yeah, I have to consider cultural masking in that too.
Right.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Wow. Well, okay. Sorry, I'll just find another one. Okay, there's one here from Angel. So would you guide someone to a match if someone came to you specifically looking for a match?
Oh yeah, I do matchmaking all the time. I love to do it. I mean, that's what I did to myself. That's how I found my partner. Oh yeah. I typically do a first reading with someone to understand. So I look at parents and exes and them so that we better understand them and we understand their dating patterns. And we talk about who would make a good match. And of all the people I know, I just show them faces of people that are similar just so they can feel what it's like looking at them. And, you know, if they start judging those photos, I want to know what judgments they have, what negative judgments. If they start making the negative judgments that are exactly the lessons of their own talents, I can use that to kind of help them grow through some of that. But I get a sense too, of how similar a person they might be attracted to. And so that's where we kind of, in the range of like, if these are not good for them and these are like the best for them, and then I need to figure out where they're attracted to. We change their profile. There are different ways of taking photos, so their energy shines really well through their eyes, and then we screen through eyes to find someone that's a great match. So there's like a first session and a few other sessions. Yeah. And I coach people through finding people that are like them and how to be with someone that's like them. It's a totally different experience. Yeah.
So is it simply just teaching them who they need to find, or do you actually have a catalog of people who are looking to meet others?
Maybe someday I'll have a catalog, but I don't have that
Yeah.
yet. It's
Let me know.
and it's a little tricky. It's a little trickier to learn to read the eyes, so that I usually I have to work with people through some of it, and I teach them how to focus on learning the eyes, particularly that are good for them, which ones to steer away from, and then we go back to the body psychology. There are particular physical experiences they have in their body when they're with someone that's really good for them or really not good for them. Typically, when we're with someone that's not good for us, where we're so attracted to them, we're not connected to ourselves. Right. So we're out of our body. We're all focused on them. I mean, so everyone, we get the same kind of experience. So yeah, when you're so attracted to someone and you're like compulsively thinking about them, it's not good. It's not good.
We've suddenly had at least 3 questions about the other traits within the eye. Is there certain traits of someone who's a liar or murderer?
Oh, right. Yeah. So
I
can pick up consciousness in general, so I can pick up lack of consciousness in general. There's also like attention deficit type stuff. It's similar to artisan, and it's similar to feel, act, think, or act, feel, think in communication. So I can pick up likelihood of various things. People that have attention stuff going on, their eyes zip around even more. So I have to distinguish that and artisan, and like, do they have both or just one of them? And then I think part of this is my personal history and just knowing so much more about psychology and subtlety of psychology. I grew up around narcissists, so I can pick up narcissism in people from photos.
Wow.
Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And I use a broader continuum. Like, there might be classically diagnosable, and I'm not officially a therapist. I can't diagnose, kind of thing. But I can, like, along the continuum. So I can help people avoid stuff like that for potential dates.
I have a funny feeling you're going to have a lot of people turn up at your door with pictures of their partner's family and pictures of their eyes. Is this man a narcissist? Is he a sociopath? Okay, I've got a great question. Sorry,
I don't know. I don't know. I can see all these things, but I definitely pick up some of these things.
Yeah. There's a great question here from Kath. Can you see that, Monique?
Do you ever pick up on the third eye chakra? That's a good question when reading normal eyes.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Like, do I? So I think that if you look at the different talents, the 7 talents, they actually map on the chakras. So people that have a stronger third eye, I would think it's a little bit more like scholar and priestess are more likely to have that. Priestess would be like 7. I think I'm trying to write, so throat and third eye, and then it's crown. So scholar is more of third eye, and priestess is crown. And so I'm just thinking I would pick up like that more in general. But scholar energy is like around here, which is right below the third eye. Yeah.
So would you advise someone what to do with that, or how to work with that, or is that something within that sphere of what you do? Or
you mean in terms of, say more about,
the
you mean like third eye?
or the working with that energy?
So interesting. I don't think about it that way. I cross into all kinds of spiritual growth. There's some ways, like some of that I don't specifically do. And I wouldn't want, on the one hand, I wouldn't want someone to focus on strengthening a talent that's not theirs, because to me it's like consciously trying to put on a mask, which I don't think is helpful. And at the same time, if it's a natural part of a person's process to strengthen in that area, or if some aspects of that help them move through their own lessons, I would utilize them. Yeah, so I got to be careful about what really helps the person forward and what would be more like spiritual bypassing. Like, it's attempt to be more conscious, but it actually doesn't help them get there.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, thank you, Kath. Okay, shall we go to do a couple more readings with people? Sure. So the next young lady coming up on our screen is Sean, and she's in the UK. Add her to stream. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Hi, Sean. Well, it's great. So some of your listeners, right, they care in these different kinds of spiritual topics. So you've got some similarities in your in your audience. So how do you pronounce your name again?
Sean.
Sean. So I would guess, just like the first person we talked to, you feel emotions, right? Really big waves of emotions, right? Right, and you see not only what's here, you also see what's possible. You like to inspire and motivate people to stretch and reach for what's possible. You could, well, so you have a little bit of eye makeup on, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it's a little tricky. It's okay. It's okay. You could be a double. So while there are 7 talents, and most people have 3 different ones, sometimes people have a double. So you could actually be priest, priestess first, which gets directed outwards, and you want to make a big difference out in the world. And you might have a good dose of it going inwards, where you're hard on yourself and you see how you should grow. Does it make sense that you feel both really deeply?
Yeah.
And then you're going to either have artisan or scholar as your third. And if you don't have double priest, you'll probably have artisan and scholar as your other 2. So artisan's the one that's I almost want to go in the direction of scholar though. So artisan is about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. Right? So rebelliousness, getting to do what you want. And then scholar loves to learn. It's always absorbing information to build knowledge and share knowledge. So is it more important to you to do what you want or to understand something?
Bit both. I'd say.
Yes. And then, so asking questions is tricky, right? Because someone can ask from their masking or from what's authentic.
Yeah.
So you're probably either priest, priestess, artisan, scholar, or priest, priestess, scholarish. I'm trying to, so in this, I'm cheating. So part of what I'm cheating is I'm just going to look. So you have very cream colored, kind of simple things around you, and like gray and white, and like you don't feel as artisan-y. So I lean towards I'm going to say, which bothers you more, when something's boring or when something's wrong?
Oh.
And if like
That's
the person gets
one.
stuck on all these things, then I'm like, maybe they really have both. So maybe you're priest, priestess, artisan, and scholar. And so maybe, what would I, so this is when I start to play with the other traits. So maybe conflict is hard for you. You tend to be more adaptive to other people.
Yeah.
So this is where you're probably priest, priestess, artisan, scholar, but you're flexible in defense. So people that are flexible in defense are more spontaneous. They're more likely to have things be like a little messy, kind of on time, and conflict is scary. And so you have priest, priestess, artisan, scholar, but you're flexible. Whereas the person we saw previously isn't quite as flexible as you, and so he's a little bit more straight. Yeah. So doing what you really believe in is important to you.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in something, it's really hard for you to continue to put your energy towards it.
Yeah.
You want to make a positive impact, and you want to get feedback about the impact that you make. And do you do work that's with people? Do you get to help, like lead a team or motivate people or something like that?
Yeah, so I do work with clients, I'd say. So I do hairdressing, so that's with a lot of people.
Right. So hairdressing, so there's a lot of artisan, right? You're really doing art for people. And then if you talk with your clients, you probably have more emotional, like coaching style talk with them. And that's because it's your priest. And this is where your work explicitly isn't about priest, priestess, but it's you. So it comes out. Yeah, whatever you do.
Definitely.
So so you're a coach. You're a coach, well, in disguise as a hairdresser.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, it's so interesting.
Isn't it
How
though?
you can do that, yeah.
Well, let me say one thing about relationship too. I don't know if you're in a relationship now.
Yeah.
So what can happen with people with priest, priestess is because they see the potential, sometimes they date people's potential as opposed to dating people where they are. And they also they want people to reach their potential. So they coach and coach and coach and try to get people to grow. And sometimes they're in a relationship where it's totally okay. And sometimes the partner resists it. And so I don't know what happens for you. But
yeah, no, that's fine. It's funny because it's like you already know what's going on.
that's great.
Definitely.
Yeah, so just so you know, that can be some of the dynamics of what happens.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you have any other questions before I know we're going to jump to another person?
I don't know. I don't think I've got any more questions.
Does that resonate with you, Sean?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it definitely
does?
has.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, great reading.
That's why I say it's like, what? How? Just through eyes, I just don't get it.
Well, so as we look at the differences among us, so you're shadowed a little bit, but so your eyes stand out on your face much more than mine do. Okay. And there's much more emotion and joy. probably that people can see that comes through your face. I'm just going to make mine particularly. I don't have any of the traits that are about feelings and emotions. Like I had to learn all that, and I learned it through patterns. That's what my strength is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
So I think we all pick this stuff up.
Yeah. I suppose we do probably without realizing it. That
Exactly.
You can, like they say that you can read a person from, I guess, from like their body language sometimes. And I suppose that's very similar, but you don't actually realize that's what you're doing.
Or if you see someone from the back and finally they turn around, and as soon as you see their face, right, you see their eyes, like you just, it's like, finally. It's because we finally can pick up all this stuff.
Yeah. I suppose now you explain it like that. I suppose we do it most of the time every day without realizing. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's why we're attracted to some people and drawn to some people and scared of some people. It's we pick up the differences about them, and also we have our own history. And so some people have been really comfortable and close for us, and other people have been scary. And so we just end up then assuming that the other person is the same way, and it can get us in trouble sometimes, right? It's a way we project our history.
Well,
on
I suppose
other people.
you saying that, me working as a hairdresser with clients, I can kind of tell who my clients are by just looking at their face as well. So I can tell like what type of person they are, or
you can guess, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
We can guess, and we get much more likely than it's not random. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you explain it like that. I do that every day. So
right, and it's subconscious. We all do it. We just don't realize. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's very interesting. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Sean, for coming on. That was
That's
brilliant.
okay. No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm just going to drop Sean out. Thank you, Sean.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions. One from Carol. Can you read illness from people's eyes?
I don't. So this is iridology. So people that do iridology read that all the time. And I'm going to say, I saw another question. I'm going to say, someone asked me if twins, identical twins would be similar.
Yes, that was my next one.
It's great. Typically, identical twins are similar and they're different. They have some differences. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I could talk about one other thing, a really rare thing too. It's called a walk-in. And this is where, so it's for the most part over people's lives, they don't change. Like the traits are basically the same. They grow. And so they might lose masks. They might develop and be more conscious than they are, but they don't actually change except for the rare instance of a walk-in. And so this is where the idea is that when someone's soul, it's like it's got a purpose and it's attempting to express, and like something just goes wrong and they can't express what they were really here to express in this life. Like there's an agreement to use the body and to use the life for something else. And so that soul leaves and another soul comes in. It's often accompanied by a near-death experience. And it usually takes several years for the person to kind of integrate and get back on track because they have the physical experience and memory of this other life and it doesn't fit who they are and they don't know what happened. And so that's a rare case where people are very different. Would be different at different points of their life. And I can see that in their eyes before and after.
Wow. Fascinating.
So, we've got one more person who is my son, who's kindly agreed. He's had his haircut, especially for this evening. No, I am joking, but he's sitting next to me and he would love, what I'll do, we'll swap chairs. I'm going to let Adam jump into my chair. I have got trousers on if anyone ever wondered what I'm wearing underneath it. Let's go change over. This is Adam. And
hi, Adam.
Been a guinea pig.
Hello.
Hi, Adam. Let's see. Turn your head to the right just a little bit more for the camera. Put your finger up so you can see where the camera is.
Yeah.
So you look at the camera. Keep going closer to the camera. So that way I'll get your eyes towards the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're someone that probably, you have really interesting eyes. You're someone probably action is more important to you. Like you like to be in movement. Is that true?
Yeah.
So you have a weird paradox of you probably love to relax and you're just kind of easygoing, but you like to be in movement. So you got both of those things going. Is that right? And this is because your relaxation motivation, and from the way you're talking, it sounds like you're kind of mellow and slower paced in some ways, more leisurely paced. But you pick up things through movement and through engaging things.
Yeah.
So that's all true.
Yeah.
Can you get just a little closer to the camera for a moment?
Yeah, come on, Ed.
Well,
Get closer.
well, it's a bit of an awkward angle.
No, it's
sorry.
not. It's perfect.
Yeah,
It's
it's okay. Sorry.
just right there. Come on.
It's
Get up
it's
close.
up to the
Yeah,
side.
and then you. It's okay. I can kind of see. That's okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah,
Yeah, look at the
and then
Perfect.
that's okay. Thanks. Yeah, you can come back, and then and you might pick up feelings really deeply.
Yeah.
Like you sense if someone's in pain, if someone needs love. You really are about caring, right? You want everyone to care for each other. You're a big stand for honor of all life. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably have the server talent. It's about love and intimacy and deep connection. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 6'4" softie.
Yeah.
He really
Yes,
is.
yes.
Sorry, I'm just really nervous.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
I'm just really
embarrassing.
sorry. I'm just really nervous and embarrassed. Yeah.
Oh, it's and what work do you do?
Well, you're not at the moment, are you?
No, not at the
It's
moment.
okay. What work have you done, or what work would you love to do?
Or volunteering at the moment. Horticulture was his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, right? So server is about love and honor of all life, so care of all life. So it makes sense that you're involved in care of life, and yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's great also because it's physical work, so you get to be physical, and you're going at the rhythm of plants, which is actually kind of a gradual, subtle rhythm. So that's really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just died of embarrassment, I
Yeah,
think. Do you want to change
I'm just
over?
really embarrassed.
Let's
sorry.
change over.
I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for letting us see you.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam.
Well done, Adam. Well done.
That's quite a thing to go live as well on Facebook. While we're here, Monique, can we have a look at your eyes?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Oh, unfortunately for the show, I put makeup on, Laureli. I hope I'm looking right at.
It's okay. Yeah, I know we were talking about you a little bit before.
We
So
were.
I think you've got the artisan talent, right? That's about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy.
Yeah.
And then I think we said you have the warrior talent. It's
Oh,
about
yes.
grounding, practicality. So it's like, grounded, useful, practical, make results happen. So you're like strategic organizer. And then I'm trying to remember, you feel like, or like, so do you also have the sage talent, the one that's about community, communication, playfulness, and fun? We either went the direction of, sage. And then, so in that case, like details, tracking all the details is a little bit harder for you. You want it to all work, you keep it organized and together, but like Paul actually tracks the details better.
Yes.
Is that all true? But Paul, you have to be interested in the ideas. You have to be interested in them.
Okay.
I'm going to sneak a talk about
I'll
Paul
say
too.
yes. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to get
Paul's
my
good
eyes
at
out.
organizing.
Yeah.
I can't
So
see anything.
I know. So I know you've got artisan and scholar. So like the artisan's about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy, and scholar's about absorbing information to build knowledge and share knowledge. Right. So artisan is like stretching out to the edges of what exists and bringing new ideas, experiences in. So it's bringing in new information and like sharing it as like useful information. So it's totally what you do, right?
Cool. There you go. I can see you now.
I know. That's what I'm like.
Oh my God.
Right.
I can't see anything.
Does that resonate with you, Paul?
It does. Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think so too.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of it gets tricky, right? And so I've only it's so much of seeing your eyes, but like that you have a little bit of the sage flavor and a little bit of the priestess flavor. And like your eyes, the glasses, the darkness here makes more emphasis on your eyes, which is a little more in the direction of priestess, and facial hair, right? A little more emphasis, more like sage. And so that's what I'm like, all right, masking. And I make predictions about your parents and what your family life was like. So I go into all those stories and try to figure it out.
Oh, wow. I need to come and see you then. That was brilliant. This has been so much fun. Thank you, Laureli. It's been really good.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's great fun to be here and do this, and happy to share with people.
And guys, if you'd like to get in touch with Laureli, the details are coming past on the banner at the bottom of the screen. So if you're watching this on catch up, it has been really great fun to have you on the show. It's been brilliant. So we are, it's that time of the day where we're going to work, Monique, ourselves now. So we want to say thank you for coming on the Spiritual Talk. We really appreciate it. It has been so much fun.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been great being here.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Laureli. I appreciate your coming.
You're welcome to stay around and listen in as well. So we never know. So Monique and I are going to work and connect. We've gone over a little bit of time, so we probably can squeeze at least one in, Monique, can't we?
At least one, yes.
Yeah. So, but before you go, Laureli, can you, Laureli, I must honestly,
It's okay.
pronunciation. Can you look at the comments and pick someone for a free reading?
Oh yeah, sure. Just from this long list of people.
A free reading from us, just to
Yeah.
make that clear.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, I'm just feeling the energy, like the itty bitty photos. I'm feeling the energy of people from far away, and
This would be my turn, I think, Polly.
well, right, I guess the first person that really got my eye here is Leanne Turner.
Oh,
and she would love her eyes read. So,
okay,
awesome,
lovely.
Awesome.
That would be fabulous. Leanne, you can contact me. I think we're friends on Facebook.
My God, just gonna get rid of someone who's put a lot of expletives on. So sorry about that, guys. He's almost gone. Yeah.
The journey of being live and public and open.
Yeah, it really is. Something about a cucumber. So let's not go there. So thank you, Laureli. And we're now going to say goodbye. And thanks very much for coming on.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, Laureli. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, Monique, are we ready to work?
Yes, taking a deep breath with everything I just took in. That was a huge amount of information and fascinating.
I know. I'm gonna have to watch that and rewatch that.
Watch it over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So full of information. So now we are going to link in mediumship and in spirit art at this very time. I'm going to change my camera around. Give me a second.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Wonderful. Whoopsie. So do speak up.
So for those at home sitting here watching me laughing, I'm really sorry. My son is sitting next to me and trying to make me laugh. So I'm going to have to ask him to leave in a minute. Also, I'm not going to get any work done. He's now going because he's making me laugh. He's gone. Awesome. Okay, Monique, how are we doing?
We're doing good. I'm just getting my pencils together. Oops. You start, if you wouldn't mind starting, Paul, because I haven't set up yet. So I'm just going to do that while I'm linking. Go ahead.
I'm still trying to get over my son trying to make me laugh.
Oh. Well, I can link as soon as I change the
Yeah. Okay. Be serious. Okay. Got to work now.
All right. You want me to start?
Yes, please. Yeah, because I'm trying to block out that information from my son.
Yeah. And I'm trying to refocus with all the information I've gotten here. So let me think here. I am seeing a man coming in here. I'm feeling he's a father. I'm feeling possibly European. I'm feeling quite a slender man and narrow, very slender. I would even venture to say hollow cheekbones or hollow cheeks. Not too much hair on the top, thin. He's still got hair, but it's thinning. Okay, I'm seeing him with a long sleeve shirt. Okay, let's see. I feel he did wear glasses to read. And I see him leaning forward, not quite certain if it's a hobby or work, but he looks like he deals with detailed work. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Maybe there's a tiny little screwdriver and a magnifying glass, and he's leaning over doing this kind of work. So he sits in this room, sitting on a stool, leaning over, looking. I'm not sure if he's working on clocks or tiny little tools fixing things. And he has a room. There's a room that he does this work in.
Hold on a sec, Monique. Just hold on.
Okay, I'm going to commence drawing now. I do feel this is in the in Europe somewhere, I feel.
That's not helpful, guys. People are laughing because I've been tickled by something.
Okay, I'll just keep going.
Yeah, please, Monique. Please rescue me. This is the first on Spiritual Talk that my head's gone. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Now, I do feel that that this is a father, but I'm feeling him working on his own, and I feel like he might work from home. This man, whatever this is that he's doing. I have a quiet reserve
okay. Can we go over the evidence you've got, Monique? So he's a father.
It feels like a father. I do feel that he lives with a partner. I feel that this is a room where he does his work, and I'm not quite certain if he does the work as a living or if it's a hobby. I feel it might be work that he might get paid for. It's almost like a lower level of a house or another room of a house where he does this work.
Okay.
And see him working with tiny, just like this, tiny tools, screwing in things, fixing things. I don't know if he's a watchmaker or if he's working with fine tools. I see a light shining from behind him on what he's working. Maybe there may be a magnifying glass there. I feel like this is in Europe somewhere, possibly the UK. All right, tall, slender. Well, tall is relevant. Let's see. Well, he's sitting right now, but quite a slender man, long sleeve cotton shirt.
It's interesting. I wonder if Laureli would be able to see by the picture of the eyes, because you're so good at the eyes, Monique.
Yes, well, I had plenty of questions when she was talking about eyes. I can assure you, the eyes are the soul, the opening to the soul, and I completely agree there. So I'm just going to pay a bit more attention to this drawing here.
Yeah.
Are you getting any of this, Paul?
Yeah, I am picking up a gentleman that would have worked. To me, it's more like a workshop.
Yes, that's what I feel too.
I also feel that he would have worked from home.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's something that he really loves doing too. It might have started as a hobby at one time and turned into a business.
Yeah, I feel like he was a joiner or a carpenter. That's how I feel with this gentleman.
A what? Sorry?
A joiner or a carpenter. I feel like he's working with wood.
Okay.
Another thing, his hands would be quite. I'm picking up hands as well with this gentleman. Very, very creative.
Hands. Yeah, he works with his hands. No question about it.
Yeah.
Tall, slender. I feel his wife is upstairs or in the other area of the house while he's doing this.
Yeah. See, to me, I feel this is more that he did this while he retired. That's what I'm picking up on. I'm also feeling this gentleman also had a problem with his lungs as well. I do feel this gentleman had a bit of a cough going on. I'm not sure this is how he passed, but there were certainly problems with his respiratory system. He's making me aware of that. I've got some comments coming in.
Yeah. I'm afraid I'm standing drawing up, so sometimes the drawing's a bit elongated, but I am picking him up now.
Yeah, apologies if the Wi-Fi is bad. We seem to be okay this side. I'm sorry if you're experiencing it the other side, from your side. So, okay. I'm also aware this gentleman would have had a little bit of hair, but graying and very thinning on top as well.
Very thinning.
Yeah.
Like almost combing it back, And
as I feel into this gentleman, I do feel the name Jonathan or John as well. I do feel he's a father figure. I do feel that he had children here. What age is this person? I do feel he passed into spirit late 70s, early 80s. the name John or Jonathan around him as well. Also, I know he would have been a grandfather when he went into spirit. He's making me aware of that.
I feel that he might have had to leave whatever work he was doing because of health issues. Did you get that, Paul?
Yes. But I still feel he made things for people in his workshop.
Yeah.
The way he's talking, bird boxes, even simple furniture as well that I'm picking up.
He's a very meticulous worker. Big on detail, I feel.
Yeah. And I also know this gentleman had problems with the throat as well, because he's making me aware of the throat. I do feel this. Okay. There was some kind of problem with his throat, whether it was a tumor or a lump in his throat. He's making me aware of that.
I'm just picking up something about a son. So
Yeah.
I feel that he may have had a son he's referring to right now.
Yeah. And he's also making me aware of a May birthday. I want to say May the 22nd as well.
I feel the wife still may be alive. What do you think?
Yeah.
Because I feel he passed before the wife. I feel she still may be around.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure actually about the wife, but I can certainly the more we talk about this, the more I feel that the wife has already passed over.
Okay. I'll accept that.
And I don't feel this gentleman's been over that long, actually. I also feel there's a local accent with this gentleman as well.
Yes, I do. I feel that too.
Yeah. I've just literally heard him say he's working with wood. It's he's trying to give me a place. I know it's not ditching him, but with initial D. He's trying to give me his place with initial D that connects to him as well. That's a great drawing, Monique.
Oh, you can see the personality in there, can't you? Yeah.
Anybody understand the picture and the information that's coming through? Anyone take the picture?
Did you say John, by the way, Paul?
Yeah.
I just heard John. I just heard John.
Yeah,
John.
that definitely connects to him.
Just heard it.
Yeah. I know he would have had a daughter as well. He's making me aware of his daughter.
I feel it's in a house. They lived in a house. I'm seeing a house, more than one. It feels like more than one level, you know. Yeah. And he worked.
I don't know if you noticed, Monique. You've drawn his ears slightly big on one side. I do feel that's right. Yeah, yeah. I do feel that's right with him. Yeah. There's one bigger on one side than the other. Okay. No one's taking it. That's a shame. I do feel this gentleman, it didn't help me trying to pull myself together after that, what happened.
Are you feeling military background with this guy?
I do.
I'm feeling military background with this guy at one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out where exactly. British military, I'm feeling.
Yeah.
No response yet, Paul?
No, nothing. It's also making me aware of his car as well. See, I do feel this gentleman's a fairly recent passing within the last year, maybe 18 months. Starting to. Hey guys, are you still listening? Are we still there? Anyone can take this? That'll be great. I keep getting the name repeated and repeated and repeated. The name John.
John.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Just a reserved kind of, quiet man, not a beer drinking, knee slapping, partying kind of a fellow. I feel that I feel some kind of maybe semi-retired, possibly.
Yeah.
Don't you? Semi-retired, stays at home, works at home, wife is there. Do feel he had a couple of children. I felt son. You mentioned daughter. That could possibly be.
Definitely daughter as well. Yeah, and I do feel that the daughter had to do the funeral arrangements as well, had to bear a lot of the burden of his passing.
I just felt daughter had a child. I just felt that.
Yeah, I feel that was a boy. The boy I feel was a man now, so I know the daughter would be 50s or late 40s, but I do feel there's a grandson that's just a young man.
Okay. I'll look into that and see what I'm getting.
Someone's just said there was a John on here earlier, Paul. He was having signal problems. So, okay, not to worry.
Fellow has a deep voice. I can hear this man talking. It's definitely a British accent of some sort and a deep.
Yeah, I think it's more local, like a local accent, definitely.
And I'm hearing a deep voice.
Yeah.
I'm suddenly seeing a graveyard.
Yeah, this gentleman knew his stuff as well. I'm also seeing it. I know he would have smoked. I believe it's roll-ups as well. Yeah, roll-ups. But we're going to have to leave his love with someone if they can't take this information.
Are we running out of time?
Yeah, we've got about three minutes.
Oh my. Okay.
It's going so quick tonight.
This fellow is definitely here. There's no question about it. So,
yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes people walk away from the show early, or one time you was putting your child to bed, as you mentioned.
Yeah, on the pre-record as well. I often get messages from people after the show saying, I believe that was
Yes, that happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, All right. Shall we leave this gentleman with his love with someone?
Yeah, we'll leave it up. Hopefully someone will take him. Let us know, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Monique.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for linking. Well, anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed that show. It was fascinating.
It was really good fun. It was
chock full of information, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like my head is spinning.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And you've managed to stay online without the storms, Monique. So that's good.
I noticed Laureli was getting pretty hazy there. She's in she's in Seattle, which is Seattle from Vancouver is about a 2.5 hour drive. So they may be getting their share of the storm that's about to come as well.
Yeah. Well, apparently we're going to have snow over here, apparently by this time the weekend. So we'll look forward to that.
Oh, lovely. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Well, it's time to end the show, Monique. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. It was really enjoyable. Thank you for lending us your eyeballs to look at. It's been brilliant. And we'll see you again soon.
All right. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye, everybody. Bye.